Welcome, Mikey Ice TV. Beyond the VHS. I'm about to go live with Kid Enzo. From the West Coast, out here, Los Angeles, California. I've always really appreciated this brother, though, a dope artist. What he does with the saxophone is amazing. So I wanted to get some history on this brother and just to pick his brain and understand like where he gets that from. Art of Freestyle, how you doing today though, bro? Appreciate you though, man, for watching. So I'm going live with Kid In Zone though, man. Dope b-boy, dope artist, and that's all I'm doing from here on is to speaking to everybody in every element of hip hop. And I'm going to be transitioning to speaking to a lot of people overseas in Europe. So that's going to be amazing. So welcome once again, everybody that's watching. And you too, though, bro. I like to get you on here, though, too. Art of Freestyle. We got some history, though, man. I want to speak to you about some things, too, as well. It's an open platform to all the people that support what I do. So, Kid In Zone, let's do this. All right. Yo. Ah,
What up,
yeah, bro. What's going on?
Mikey Ice,
Man,
man? What's going on? Thanks for
thank you,
having me
though,
on, bro.
bro. Could you just introduce yourself to everybody that's watching and just kind of give like a brief description of what you do?
Yeah, definitely, man. I go by Kid Enzo Music on Instagram. I'm a b-boy
That's
and musician.
dope, bro. Let me see how you spell your last name. Okay, Enzo. Enzo. Bima, how you doing? I got some people on here. Okay.
Dope, dope.
So yeah, Kid Enzo, bro. Where can I start though, man? Like I remember when I first moved back to Los Angeles because I'm originally from LA, you know, and I remember
Mm,
um seeing you, but I think during that time we were just kind of getting introduced to each other, because I was living up north in Fresno, California, so I moved back to LA moved back to LA
right.
7 years ago, and I was very inspired by you as an individual, because to me what I look for in a b-boy, not only his move but his character, the way that you treat me, the energy that you show. And I remember like seeing you, and you always show me like the most respect, and I highly appreciate that though, brother. And I just wanted to let you know because a lot of times in the b-boy world, sometimes the b-boy doesn't really let the other b-boy know like that they respect them. It's more like a macho thing, like, man, I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I've always been the type of brother that's like, I've always liked to let other b-boys know how dope they are as a person, though, too.
Yeah, no, man. The respect is mutual, man. Like I appreciate that. I remember you when you arrived as well. Like when you mentioned that when you got
Yeah,
back to LA. I saw
that's what I
you
was
at
gonna
juice
say.
practice at
Hmm.
MacArthur Park. Yeah, when they used to have it back there at the MacArthur Park spot. But I could always tell, man, like who's a funky b-boy, who's into the culture, like it just shows. Like I know like we
Right,
used to see each other from across the room, and I used to see like who's this guy killing it like on with the top rock, man. He's like
right,
funky, like and I'd be like, you could always tell like as soon as you take that first step or that when you show that character when you dance, it's you know you could just tell like
right.
who's about it. You know
Thank
what I
you,
mean?
though, for seeing that, though, brother. A lot of people,
Yeah.
they say they see that when they see my first impression. Because honestly, Kid Enzo, man, I've been breaking since I was 12 years old. That's where
Damn.
that energy comes from.
Okay.
And my first original name before Mikey Ice was called Little Uprock. So, so
Mm,
that's why I
okay.
stress because when I first got into breaking on the West Coast, we called it up rock. On the East Coast, they called it top rock. So I didn't
Right,
have a
right,
name, so I
right,
said, you know what?
right.
I'm gonna call myself Little Up Rock because I seen the Rocksteady Crew video Up Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like the video Up Rock. So I was like, yo, I want to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
Little
yeah, yeah,
Up
yeah,
Rock.
yeah. There
You know
you
what I'm
go.
saying? So 30
That's
something
what's
years
up.
later though, bro, like I've never walked away from that idealism of being like my presence coming to the circle. Like that's what I've always wanted, and that's what I'm known for.
Hmm.
And it's crazy how like things kind of evolved, and why not came into the scene, Machine came into the scene, and you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
and like all those dudes, like when we see each other, K-Mel, like everybody, they always give me like the head nod, like when they see me in the circle, and that makes me feel good though too.
Yeah, yeah, definitely coming from them, th those dudes, they're real soulful and funky and they just got uh
Right?
that it factor, when it comes to like responding to the music and dancing on beat and showing becoming an instrument with the music, like they're like
Yeah.
right there at the top,
You know
man.
what? So your
With their
early
style.
beginnings, are you from LA or where are you from?
No, originally born and
Oh,
raised in New
New
Jersey.
Jersey. Okay.
Lived for a while in Philadelphia. Lived in Philadelphia
Mm-hmm.
for a while too. But I give credit to Philly. Well, living in New Jersey, that's like where my roots are. Like I used to go. Speaking of Rocksteady, I used to go to Rocksteady jams that
Oh,
they used to
really? What
throw in
year
New
was that?
York. Break
Oh,
break
we're
beats
talking.
jams. Dude, I started like
Yeah,
99,
I know about
2000.
the breakbeat jams though, bro.
So Rocksteady anniversary, I used to go every year. Then when I moved to Philly in 2001, 2002, I, got immersed in the scene over there and how, they're just so into dancing. Like, the whole Philly scene is into like top
Yeah.
rocking and you'll jump in a
Oh,
cipher and it'll just be
really?
ciphers with just top rock. They won't
Is this
even
around
get
the
down
time
sometimes.
when 360 Flavor and Hannibal and Makanen was and Why Not was on the scene? Did you know them back
Yep.
then?
Yep. I knew them back then. Maka used to be part of a crew with me,
Oh,
Soul
okay.
Flave in Philly, like way back, like when they
Mm-hmm.
first started breaking. I remember seeing Hannibal when he first
Okay.
started, before he had all that soul and all of his, his moves and stuff. Um, but yeah, man,
I like
consider me an
that.
OG, right? I've
You
been
know what?
dancing
I
that
went to
long.
Philly one time though, bro, and I went to Love Park. And I thought that was pretty dope
Mm.
though, bro,
Yep.
because
Yep.
Stevie Williams, the skateboarder, came out of Love Park. And I heard that was like a notorious area where all the skaters used to go to is Love Park. And what I tripped out is that the water
Yep.
came from the ground up though, bro. It shot like straight up in the air. I've never seen that before. Yeah.
Like a geyser, yeah. Yeah, we actually used to practice on Love Park sometimes, man, when it was
Hmm.
good weather out. Because the winters is brutal too. But whenever there was good weather out, we would go practice at Love Park or at Temple University. There's
Did,
different spots around Philly
did they
where you can get
condemn
down.
that Love Park? I think they might have destroyed it though, right?
I'm not sure, man. I
Oh,
haven't been back in
okay,
like a really
okay.
long time.
All
You
right.
probably know better
So
than
when
I.
you moved to Los Angeles, what year was that?
That
Oh,
was
2011.
2011.
Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah. So
2011
are
went
you
to
part of
LA.
a crew right now?
Nah, man. My crew is
Okay.
the kids right now. Like I teach kids, like I have my another Instagram page where I showcase all my students and stuff. And a lot of people ask me like, do I still practice? And to be
Oh, I
honest,
see.
I don't like personally, but whenever I'm teaching my kids, that's when I
Okay.
practice pretty much because I
Is
just
there a
get down
reason
with
why
that.
you don't practice so much? You
Yeah.
you just got other things going on in your life?
Yeah, I mean, dude, when I was in it, when I was in the scene, like speaking of Philly, when I was back there, and then when I arrived to LA, I was like super into
Yeah, I would see
into it
you.
competitively, you know? Like I was like
Yeah,
practicing, training every day, like ciphering, and for the most part, I was mostly like a cipher cat. But you know, we getting older, man. You know, we getting older. I can't
yeah.
do it every day like I used to, like that, and just for longevity's sake, for the most I get down is probably like
That's me
twice a
too. I
week,
get down twice
you
a week.
know. And again,
Okay,
that's just with the kids. Yeah, that's just and for me, it's just with the kids, you know, just to
right.
teach them and pass it on to them, you know. But then also, I'm these days I'm into like producing and playing, you know, the saxophone and doing the
Okay.
music part of it. You know, I enjoy that. I put a lot of time into that, aside from breaking itself,
Somebody just
you know.
typed in the comments the Fonz.
Yep, yep. My
Oh,
real name's
okay.
Alfonso. They know me as Fonz too,
All
and
right, all right.
yeah.
So yes, I noticed when you started getting into like the instrument, like what inspired you to incorporate that into breaking? Because you're the only person that I see visually doing that.
Dude, so that started like I
Right.
want to say like 2 or 3 years ago when I started like posting the whole collaborations and music on my social media. But it happened because one of my friends
Mm,
plays the drums, and I didn't know that he played the drums. Like I used to practice with him all the
okay.
time. Like he's a b-boy too. And uh one day we was at like an event, or like because I do
Okay.
performances as well, and we get hired to go like to do at parties and events and stuff like that, and they had a drum set, and dude just started getting down on the drums
Yeah.
and killing it on some funky stuff, like made me want to get down. Like I was getting down for a little bit, and I was like, bro, I was like, I had no idea like you played the drums. Like that shit is dope. I was like, yo, back in the day I used to play the saxophone. And he was like,
Oh,
yo,
okay.
that shit is ill too. You should bring that back. So I went
Mm,
back to Jersey, you know, because my family still lives here, and dusted off my saxophone that was in the basement, repaired it, renewed it, and got to practice. I just started practicing again, and just something came over me when I
oh, I
started playing the
see.
horn. I actually felt the music right there next to me. You know, because for a long time, I
Mm,
wasn't motivated to like dance, you know? Like I've been doing this already for
yeah.
like 20 years, man. So like after a certain point, you lose
Mm-hmm.
motivation here and there. So I was in one of those phases where I was like, man, I don't got the motivation no more. Like I'm not feeling it. So I get into other activities. But when I started playing the horn and playing it to break in music, I was like, I feel the music right here. Like I'm feeling it and hearing it how it's meant to be
Right.
heard. Because a lot of times you're listening
Mm-hmm.
to the music through a speaker. You know, the DJing and everything, that's dope. But the way it was meant to be heard was those bands that was actually playing it live. You know, like James
Right.
Brown had a band. And when you would hear when you hear that shit live,
Even
it's a
Donald
whole
Byrd.
nother
I
feeling.
love when Donald
It's a
Byrd was
completely different
on
feeling.
the instrument.
Yeah, and then one of James Brown's saxophonists was
Oh
his name
yeah,
was
that's what
Maceo
we always
Parker,
say.
and he would
Maceo.
do all,
Yeah.
all yep, yep, and he would do all of the
Yeah,
solos
you're right.
and the
Oh,
ins
you're
and
right.
outs
When he would
of the
do the breakdown,
melodies.
that was Maceo, huh?
Yeah, so I started studying him and trying to play all of his solos that he did on the different
Okay.
tracks, and I just started falling in love with hip hop and breaking again. And I was like, this is crazy. So that's how
Okay.
it started, as far as like me getting back into it. And then one day, I was with one of my homies, Noel. He's actually part of Skill Methods. He plays the
Okay.
saxophone too, by the way. And we was just messing around. We was just like, yo, I was like, yo, Noel, let's go out and shoot a video. I want to play Just
Mm.
Begun, you know, the anthem, the B-Boy anthem. I was like, I want to play Just Begun and then get down to it. And I was
Mm,
like, "Can you film it for me?" And he was like, "Yeah, for sure, bro." So we was just messing around. We shot like a little video. I played Just Begun. Then I put the saxophone down and I started breaking. He shot it. I uploaded it onto social media just to share it with my friends and fam. Like, yo, check it out. I'm
right.
just like goofing around, playing my sax and getting down. And then all of a sudden, I posted it, and then the next day, I saw like a
What?
thousand shares, like 1,000 views or however many views, and I'm like, what the hell? This shit just blowing up. I've never had that shit happen before. When that shit happens, it's like, damn, like, did I do something wrong? Like, is something wrong with my something wrong with my phone or something? And I just get getting notification after notification. Before I knew it, I was getting messages from b-boys from around the world, like, yo, this shit is amazing. Like, yo, I never heard it. No one play it
Yeah.
live like that before. And I was like, well, shit, man, this is crazy, man. I may be onto something here. So, and that's how the whole
Okay.
thing started.
What I noticed too, even when I first met you, like Wanda, it seemed like you and Wanda was like, that was like that was a dynamic
Yeah.
duo to me, because like you had the funky music and she had the funky top rocks. And I kind of want to know, like, how
Yeah.
did you and Wanda relationship
Yeah.
started as being friends?
Yeah. 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 So Wanda's been my homegirl, my friend for like the longest time since I moved to LA. I've always known she was full out dancer. Like she can pop, she can lock, she can break. So when we became friends, like we just had that connection. Like, okay, she thought I was like, as well funky with my dancing and my character and stuff when I get down. Um, so we just
Right.
connected on that level, right? And so we've always been friends. So when I started doing the live music, we reached out to each other like, yo, let's collab, like because when you're friends with people, like you just want to
Yeah.
collab and interact with them and share with them, like naturally. So that's how the whole thing started, and we just started talking about ideas, like different things that we could do. She was also like into like, the
Mm-hmm.
content creation, and she wanted to put more videos out herself. So I was like, let's do it together, man. Let's freaking you like James Brown, I like James Brown, you like, these other artists, like let's just do it. And then people love that shit too, and that's how that whole thing started. And we just started rolling with it. We was like, all right, we
I,
could do this, we could do that. We just started like,
I
having
think it's
fun and content
raw, bro.
creation.
I like the one where you was in I think it was here in LA and you was playing the saxophone and you walked into the train. You walked into the train while you was playing the to me, yeah,
Oh
the
yeah.
visual to that, it was so dope too because it was like you could tell that it was organic and it was just raw though, bro. And I'm thinking like, man, this dude has something with that. Like I don't know. No, you can make that like a production thing though, bro. Like I think it should be on a higher platform.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, I appreciate that, man. I gotta give
Oh,
credit to Jess
okay.
Skills for that. Like she came up with that whole idea. She for her jam
Oh, that's what
Cipher
that
Addicts,
was.
which that she does once a year. And she came to me and she was like, "Yo, I got this idea. Like, we have this studio, which is where they held Cypher Addicts. They had like
Hmm.
like a big venue, and they actually had a train car inside
Oh, I
that
think I've
venue."
seen you playing
And she
there
was
though,
like,
right?
"Yo,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. If you came to Cypher Addicts that year, we played with a whole band, um, percussionist, bass player, everything. Uh, but we did
Yeah.
it during the jam. Well, actually, we shot before the jam. Before the jam, we went to an actual train station. We went to, I think it was North
Hmm.
Hollywood train station, and they filmed me, at the actual train station going in, and then they cut to the jam where they had the train car, and they filmed the inside of the train car with me and the saxophone moving around, and then coming
Yeah, that was
out, it
dope,
was the day of
bro.
the jam. Yeah. So I got to give credit, yeah, to Just Skills and Cypher Addicts for that, because that was like
Right.
out of this world, man. That
So,
was like crazy.
Alfonso, are you in LA right now or New Jersey?
I'm in New
Oh,
Jersey
you're in.
right now, man. I'm in the East Coast, but just visiting for the
Oh,
month.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. So you big on the Lakers? You like the
yeah.
Lakers?
Man, I
Yeah.
love basketball in general, but I'm a player
Oh, you
fan.
are?
I'm a
Okay.
LeBron fan. So I got different players that I'm a fan of. So I mean LeBron's on the Lakers right now,
Got it.
so
I
I'm with
got
the
you though, bro.
Lakers.
That's what's up though. Early Rocksteady anniversaries. I never got a chance to go, but majority of the footage that I have. Were you at the Rocksteady anniversary when Sky Elements went out to New York in '90? I think it was in '96. You know, it was the first time ever they showed up. It was Rocksteady versus
Nah,
Step Fiends.
nah, I wasn't there for
Okay.
that. Like I said, I
Oh yeah,
started in
you're right.
99,
Okay.
2000. So that's when I started
Okay.
going.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish I was. That would have been dope to see Style
Yeah.
Elements back then. But that's another one of my inspirations as well too, man. Like Style Elements from I was really big on watching like the freestyle
Uh,
session tapes from back in the day, like and then also the Out for Fame tapes and watching Style Elements and Remind and Crumbs killing it, as a dynamic duo. Like I was
yeah.
inspired by them a lot. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were ill.
bro. It's crazy how much the evolution of breaking though has evolved so much, and it's like their foundation moves. It's elevated to like something else that's like super crazy because I came up with the guys from Styleman, so like we were all friends before the crew started though, and this is like
Hmm.
'94. You know, Styleman didn't really get established to '95, and then after '95, then that's when they went to Radiotron and on. You know what I'm saying? So I was there to see the
Yeah,
beginnings of
yeah, yeah.
everything. I knew Ivan before anybody even knew who he was. You know, so I seen how everything started.
That's another dude that inspired me like to the
Yeah.
max is B-Boy Ivan. I think he inspired the whole world the way he moves, man. Like there's no one else like him. Till this day, there's no one else like that dude. And even when I was late in my career with the whole, doing it competitively and in the cipher, there's not a lot of people that I would
Oh,
go to
really?
their workshops. Um, yeah, I mean, not that I was picky with it, but some of them were out of my way and
Hmm.
couldn't get to it. But Ivan was one where I was like, wherever he's at, I'm going. If he's in the East Coast, he's doing a workshop, I'm going. If he's in the West Coast, I'm going. If he's in South America, I'm going. Like I any chance to pick his brain or to learn and the things that he shares like in his classes and his workshop is pretty unique, man. Like I haven't seen any other instructors do it the way or teach it
Hmm.
the way that he does. Like it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty like in
Right.
a world of its own. And there's only a few b-boys that I could say uh have have like like their own special techniques as far as passing on the dance to the
Yeah,
next
that's true.
generation.
Yeah,
Ivan's definitely one
that's
of them.
definitely true.
Yeah.
Um, Kenzo, so I want to ask you, how do you feel about like hip hop today, though? You know what I'm saying? Like because it's changed so much than it was like back in '99. We're in 2023. Like, what's your opinion on like hip hop today as a whole?
Oof,
Yeah,
that's a tough question, man. Well, I mean, I know like we're going into the 50th, anniversary and all of those things.
hmm,
Everyone has their opinion on that.
yeah,
As far as
the
the
music.
music, there's things, yeah, there's artists that I like. There's artists that I don't really
Hmm.
mess with too much. Um, but it's hard to narrow it down. Like I can only speak on I guess what I like, because there's like just so many number of artists that I can name. But as a whole, I think the music is going in the right direction. Like some people are taken from the past and utilizing it, for their for their style and for their, for their
Hmm.
own sound. Uh, and that's cool. And then there's some people that completely ignore it and just go another direction and sounds some of it sounds good,
Yeah,
some of it doesn't. You know? But it's hard to say, man. Hip hop as a whole
yeah.
today.
Like graffiti,
Um,
DJing,
I
and
mean, I think
b-rolling, like all that.
yeah, I think everyone just has their personal experience,
Right.
through their own perspective, Like like I'm living an everyday life with hip hop that may be
Of
completely
course.
different to yours. As opposed, for example, like maybe someone that still goes to practices and to jams, they'll see more of the elements, and as opposed to someone that's not, maybe that's maybe immersed in live
Hmm.
music, for example, like I am. I'm seeing I'm seeing a whole different thing, you
Right.
know. So interacting with those people and sharing with those people
I
is
get what
completely different.
you're saying.
So I think it's just, yeah, I think it's just unique to everyone's perspective, like what
Yeah,
hip
I
hop
get
is
what you're
today.
saying because me and my friends, Ivan's brother, we had this conversation, and um, he's from back in the day though too, and he's really into like DJing because that's his thing, and a lot of times when he goes to club and he's DJing, a lot of people tell him like put some of that new shit on now, like put something else on. And he's playing hip hop, he's playing
Yeah.
Farside, De La Soul, Tribe, these are the new school, and everybody's like, yo, like, why don't you play something, And he's all, I'm playing hip hop though. They're like, why don't you, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I think like it's unique, man. It's
yeah.
unique to everyone.
But one thing that I can say, for me personally, I like the fact that hip hop is still the number one genre. It's the number one culture on the planet for youth and for like adults though. And my journey with hip hop this whole time, there's never been a moment in my life where I felt bored.
For sure, man. I mean, if it's something you enjoy and like you're really into, I mean, it's never gonna get old. You're
Yeah.
always gonna enjoy it.
The only yeah, the only thing that
You
I
know?
don't like is the politics that I see within it, especially when it comes to the break, bro. Like that blows me away though, bro, how like people can blackball you out of the scene or, basically just
Mm.
counsel you, you know, and then like nobody wants to deal with you. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that?
I've
Yeah.
learned to separate that. I've learned to separate that. Like even like my B-boy heroes per se, like, there's been politics and drama and
Hmm.
stories that I've heard, of people. And I'd be like, man, how could they do that? Or like, damn, or like, conflicts within the scene and things of that nature. But I've learned to separate it and just, not take it for
Right.
them personally, uh, but more for just admiring and appreciating what they've contributed to the dance, and just keep it there. Because a lot of times, people want to politic and
Hmm.
or complain about this or argue about that. Bro, just dance. We
Yeah.
have this beautiful dance, you know, just enjoy it. Like you said, like you never get tired of it, you never get bored of it. Just
Yeah.
enjoy it. Like and especially with so many people like around the world like sharing, their take and their
Hmm.
interpretation through social media on different
Yeah.
platforms is way more than we could ask for. Like I know like you're a documentarian, you're a historian, right? Like I remember you like before like being one of the first people to like upload like
You
classic
remember that?
footage. And I'm like, this is I remember that, man. I remember like I used to post all this stuff and I'm like, bro, this is sick. I was like, this guy is putting together like, you know, like an archive of all of the dopest footage. And I appreciated that
Do you
so
remember
much,
what
man, when
year
he
that
did
was
that.
when you first started seeing me
And
do that?
dude, I
Way
remember it was
back,
way
right?
back. probably when I was in Philly, like way before 2011, like maybe 2002, 2003, around there, around then,
Yeah, you know
possibly.
what? Yeah,
You probably doing it
I,
before
I've
then.
always been into it though, bro. Like I wanted everybody to see it because I have boxes and boxes of VHS tapes, and I'm thinking like, yo, like look at all this shit though, bro. And I'm thinking like, I want people to feel what I feel, and I have everything though, bro. Like, Hey Mel versus Ken Swift, Float, Remind versus Abstract, like you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, some
Close
of
to
yeah,
illest,
all the
abstract.
illest rock steady anniversaries. So when I started putting it up on B-Boy World, bro, like it started getting crazy, bro. It
I
got to
remember
the point where we got to
that.
the point where Erwin from B-Boy World, he contacted me, bro, and he told me to stop putting up my B-Boy footage up on the B-Boy World page though because it was messing with
What?
the servers. They had to actually the site has shut down for a
That's
week though, bro, because
crazy.
it was getting too much it was getting too much attention at one time. Because I remember like the first
Wow. So you broke the
exactly
internet for a
I
little
remember the first time that
bit.
I started putting videos up on YouTube, I looked at my algorithm and it said in 2 years I had 2 million people come to my YouTube channel in 2 years.
Wow.
And I was tripping though, bro. Like
Damn.
everybody's there, and I think that was the birth of everybody starting to get to know who I was on a super international level, you know.
Yeah, man. I definitely knew who you were after that. I was like, yo, this guy's the B-boy
E-
historian
Even before
documentarian,
Korean
like
rock, though, right?
official. Like I've never seen nothing like it. Even before Korean rock, that's for sure. Because I remember them
Yeah,
coming out like much later. But I mean, that was your contribution, man. That was your contribution to hip hop, and you're
yeah,
still doing it till this day. And and that's what I'm talking about. Like everyone's sharing through, and right now it's at another level. You're able to share things
in
in minutes
seconds.
or in seconds even, and and who cares
That's
about the
what I'm
politics? Just
saying.
enjoy it. Just enjoy the time that we're living
Yeah,
in,
that's how
and
I
that's
feel
it.
about it, though, too. With the Olympics coming up in Paris, is is man for me, it's kind of a touchy subject in a way because I know that it's going to open up a lot of opportunities, for like the hip hop culture, but I'm just kind of curious to know like are they going to embrace everything, like when they start putting it in like the
Yeah,
museums and they start talking about it on TV like in Europe and Japan, like are they going to talk are they going to embrace everything or are they just only going to focus like on the power aspect of it? What do you think?
I think it's
Okay.
up to the people, man, and in order to take action on that. And I think it'll happen gradually. Um, and to answer your question, I think
Yeah,
it is
is.
going to happen. It's just in the beginning stages. So for me, for example, like as an artist and musician who's more into the culture
Right.
of breaking, as far as the music and the different elements,
Yeah.
I have to wait, you know, in order to be a part of it. I mean, I can still be a part of it,
Hmm.
just by watching and supporting and going that way. But as far as like, you know, them including graffiti and and emceeing and the different parts of it, I think it's gonna gradually
Mm.
happen. Like right now they're focusing on the competitive part of it, and I see it, with the kids too, because like I mentioned, I teach kids breaking, and now more than ever there's
Oh,
so many
oh
kids that
my
are into it,
God.
like, and they're getting into it every day. Like,
I
there's
see
a
the
new kid,
kids.
like, yes,
Yeah, I'm
all
sorry to
this.
cut you off.
I'm trying to,
Yeah, I see
I'm trying to learn how to
the
break.
kids to I
Yeah,
see
no,
the kids
you good.
today and I'm floored though, bro, because the kids when I I seen like the best move that you had as a kid was a windmill. You could do the windmill, bro,
Yeah.
the crowd would just go
Yep.
nuts. They would pick you up in the air. If you can spin on your head and maybe like take off your shoes, like that was it. Now I'm seeing the kids
Yep.
doing like they're doing crazy new transition stuff that it's like it's
They're
super advanced though,
flying.
bro. It's super advanced where to the point that nobody can ever look at breaking and say that is old school.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, whenever somebody mentions something like that to me, like they're like, man, look at these kids. They're like they're crazy. Like it's evolving and I'm like, yeah, that's dope. But I mean, you gotta remember the way this dance started
Yes.
was through kids in New York, you know? There was kids that, latched onto it and they were doing some
Mm-hmm.
crazy stuff. Now, you know, there's more adults doing it and stuff like that, but back in the day it was mostly kids, like kids to
Yeah.
teenagers breaking it, getting down, like at the parks, getting down outside. And then when the whole, you know, explosion of popularity happened in the 80s, there was kids you know jumping on the wagon as well with that. So I think history is gonna repeat
Mm-hmm.
repeat itself in a sense, like when the Olympics come, and if it explodes in popularity again, I feel like everyone's gonna be like on it, like, oh, this we gotta jump on this, we gotta learn how to break. Like they may not, bust out the cardboard and stuff like that, like how they did in the 80s, but they're gonna they're gonna jump on to like whatever,
Yeah.
whatever we're doing, you know, as far as doing it
I
in a
think that's what's
modern
gonna
way.
happen. Everything is gonna be professional and everything is gonna be like in super nice studios, with what it should be though, like the cardboard thing to me is like that's cool, it's like saying like let's get the house phone
Fair
again.
enough.
It's like, bro, we can move on now. Like, you know,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
when I got
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
cardboard, it was a thing that it was just accessible. We would walk behind the grocery stores or a donut store and we would just pull out the cardboard because we didn't have money to buy the linoleum. That's the only reason why
Yeah,
I got
yeah,
cardboard. That's the only
that's
reason why
true.
we
But
did cardboard. It
yeah,
wasn't like, yo, I'm a B-boy, let's get
yeah.
cardboard
I mean,
out.
linoleum's kind of cheap. Yeah, linoleum's kind of cheap
Yeah,
nowadays. More or
yeah.
less, more or less. But that's what I do with the kids. Like I went to Home Depot. I got a cut of linoleum. Like you don't need any more than like 9 by 6, 10 by 10, or something like that. And I take it out to the park, and sometimes I teach
Hmm.
them out there, like outdoors, And and people come over and they're like, "Yo, man, I see that you're teaching kids, like blah blah blah." I'm like, "Yeah, like, oh, would you teach my son?" Blah blah blah. Like, yeah, sure. And then that's how I'm
Is,
connecting with the people these
is that
days.
is that your is that the way like the way that you make your income or you have another job?
Yeah, I mean that's one. Teaching kids is one, and again, like how we were talking about Olympics and all that stuff. Like it really
Oh,
exploded this year. Like I have a lot more clients. Like I have different locations where I'm teaching now, like in
mm,
Pasadena, Sherman Oaks, just different parts of LA. As I've seen other people doing as
mm,
well. Like I know Asia One has her center.
yeah.
B-Boy Venom has his locations. So yeah, I mean, there's people on the scene active on that right now, and we have it in place, man. Like we're ready for that. We're ready
Oh, I
for like when
see.
it it gets super popular, like, and yeah, and it's gonna be dope because this is what we love to do, like who doesn't want to work
Right.
in what
So
they love
when
to
you're
do,
teaching the kids, like,
you know.
what are some of the steps that you teach? Do you start with top rock first, or do you start with foundation?
I start with real
Mm,
simple freezes, like the b-boy
Okay.
stance, the b-boy freeze, real simple like
Mm-hmm.
stalls like on the floor. Then and this is all within the first session. Then I get into like uh concepts of
Okay.
top rock, and
Yeah.
using character with that. I use the example of when Ken Swift did the Bruce Lee
Mm-hmm.
kind of top rock, and he said he drew inspiration from Bruce Lee
Mm-hmm.
to do his top rock that way. I use that example, and I use like figures from today. Like well these days the kids, they're really into like
Yeah.
superheroes and like
Yeah.
the Marvel, and so I use like those characters and how they present themselves in the same way. You could use that to
Mm.
express yourself in the dance, and to draw inspiration
Mm-hmm.
from those characters. So I start with that, because I feel like that's really important, and that's the essence of breaking. Like if you just show them moves, they're just gonna look at it as like a gymnast would. Like I'm just doing moves, I'm just
Mm-hmm.
doing flares. There's no emotion, there's no character, there's no responding to the
Right.
music. So I start with those real basic elements of music and dance, so that that part of breaking
Okay.
doesn't get lost.
And how long have you been doing this now? For like a couple years?
I've been teaching for a real long time, but I got real serious with it like
2 years
2 years ago. About this around the same time that I started doing the
Oh,
saxophone and
that's
the music and stuff.
nice though, man. That's what's up.
Yeah. And to be honest, man, like I never, not that I never wanted to teach, like I never looked at it as a career
Okay.
or a job, because I was more focused at the time, like a couple years back, I was more focused on like my own career and like performing and still, going to jams and stuff like that. I
Mm,
was more into that. But then I realized, there's all these kids that are reaching out, their parents that are reaching out, and I'm like, how can I say no? I'm like, I gotta, I gotta pass it on. I gotta do my part. I gotta.
right.
That's part of hip hop. You gotta do your part. You gotta
That's what
contribute.
I do. That's what
So
I do with these, with
yeah,
these lives though
yeah,
too. Like I want to be able to contribute like every day because it makes me feel good when I can reach out to somebody and give them a voice though, because like yourself though, I don't know if you ever been interviewed by like a b-boy that has a name for himself, like and you explaining your story. So for me, like that's my part, and contributing like every day, because you're right. Like now that I'm getting older, like I remember I used to break like 5 days a week hard though, bro. But you know what? Now I'm thinking like I can actually kind of start slowing down on that and just contribute in
yeah,
a different way, go hard in a different way. So that's why I'm so consistent with the interviews and putting up the videos like crazy because it's like that's just me though, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't get paid for none of this,
yeah.
you know. If anything, that's
Mm.
just it's just something that burns in my heart when I wake up. I'm like, yo, like let me see, what can I, like what can I drop today that's gonna be like, oh yeah, like, because everywhere I go though, people like when they see me though, bro, they're like, bro, you're killing the game right now. And I'm stretching out and I'm like, oh, for real? You see that interview?
Yeah. Yeah, man. No, I think it's important because dancers of any
You
of any
need
style,
that.
breaking or any style of
Yeah,
dance, we don't have a voice, like you need to get on and interview people and pick their brain and see what they're thinking, because a lot of times,
yeah,
you just see us
yeah.
dance and interact with people through that form of expression. But when you actually, get to hear somebody speak, then you can, get to know them on
Right.
another level and maybe
Yeah, because
learn
that's what
something.
it's
Yeah.
all about. When you see somebody else that you see break and you see them on video so much, and then when you actually hear them speak, you can relate to them, bro. I can relate to you. I love the saxophone. I love Donald Byrd, Miles Davis, um, who
Yep.
else? John Coltrane, Love Supreme. Like I listen to that though, bro. I love that. That's why I can relate to you because when I was a kid, my dad was always playing John Coltrane, Love Supreme.
Yo, that's dope, man. That you know that you've done your
Hmm.
research and you know your history on that. But like, I think it's important for b-boys to study it as well. Like for example, whenever I post my videos and I do like a cover, and it's like a classic breaking song that I think everyone should know. I still get comments to this day. They're like, "What song is that?" You know how like people you post something like,
Right,
"Oh, what song?
right.
What song? What's the song at this part? What's the song at this part of the track?" And I don't give them the song. I give them the artist because I was like, "Here's the artist." Because then when you look up the artist,
Oh,
you'll see all of their discography. You'll see other songs that they've made, and you'll see related artists
mm,
that make the same
mm.
kind of music. And then you can go down that rabbit hole and do your own research and learn more that way, as opposed to you ask me if I post a video with a James Brown song and a Sex Machine, and you're like, "What song is that?" And I say, "Oh, it's James Brown Sex Machine." You're just gonna go
Mm,
and look up that one song. But if I say the artist is James Brown, look him up. You look up James Brown on YouTube, you're gonna see a whole
yeah.
bunch of different tracks. You're gonna see a whole bunch of different from the '60s when he did that style, and then the
Mm.
'70s when he brought in the funk, and then after that when he influenced hip hop. It's gonna open up your whole world,
That's what
man.
it's about, though. That's why I
Just
really
from that one
fell in
search.
love with breaking
Yeah.
too, Alfonso, is that once I really started getting into music, I was like, when I heard "Pass the Peas," how they used to say, dun 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 dun
The
dun dun. When I
JVs.
heard, yeah,
Dun,
when I
dun,
heard that
dun,
horn,
dun.
it was just like dun 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 dun
Dun,
dun dun.
dun, dun. Yep. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun, dun.
Oh yeah,
And then
yeah,
Rakim
you're
took
right.
that. Rakim took that. You
Yeah,
see?
you just schooled me. Yeah, I didn't even
That's hip
realize that
hop, man.
Rakim took that.
Dun, 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 dun. I ain't no
Oh,
joke. Dun,
see, I
dun,
learned
dun. Oh.
something new today, though, bro. Thank you for sharing that with me. Like, I think every day when I really like start getting into like the crannies and having conversations with individuals like yourself, like I'm a student to everything, though. I'm not gonna say I know it all, but I know a good
Mhm.
percentage of it because I lived it from the beginning to where it's at today. But I don't know everything, So that's why I like having conversations, and that's what I'm about. I told myself every day I'm gonna learn something new for the rest of my life.
Yeah, man. And then that's important too, man. Just be always a
Hmm.
student, myself included. Like I'm always, interacting with people. I love that there's
Yeah.
different scenes, like if I if I want to learn about the breaking scene, I can interact with the b-boy and he could teach me, everything about it. If I want to learn more about live music, I
Mm.
can interact with a musician and he could tell me more about that world. Or, and then so on. If I want to learn about graffiti, I could talk to my boy about it. He could break down all the
Oh,
different
okay.
writers, and the history and what's happening today and how these letters came about. It's just it's all
Yeah.
art, you know. It's all
I
it's a
look at
world
it
of
that
art.
way though too, Alfonso. Yeah, I know Alfonso's been on that. I want to ask you, is there anything that you might want to ask me that maybe you probably had in your mind? You was just like, dang, I kind of want to know. Like, I want to ask Mikey I something though, because a lot of times people always ask me, or they want to ask me something, but like they're just like, dang, I wanted to ask you about something.
How'd you get all
How'd I
them
get all the
tapes, man?
takes?
Yeah. How did you? I mean, I think you're the only person that when you started posting all those videos, I was like, how does he get all this classic? But like, how does he
Yeah.
have all
You,
this?
you know what
Like,
it was though, Alfonso? The truth
you know?
was that you remember back in the day there was Blockbuster's video. And then it
Yeah,
used to be like say
yeah, I
back in the
remember
day
that.
there was Alfonso's and Lorena's. video store. You remember back in the day, everything was like it was homegrown video stores, be a mom and pop
Mom and
video
pop ones.
store. So what I would do is that I
Yeah.
would go to all those mom and pop stores and I would look at all the old VHS tapes and then we'll have like VHSs for $5, VHSs for $2, and I would look in this big bin and they would have the original Breaking with the full cover on it. So I got Breaking and I got Breaking 2 and I got B Street from the original covers, and then from there on
Wow.
when Breaking kind of started getting like made a comeback, because Breaking made a comeback like in 91, 91,
Yeah.
yeah,
90
91 when
scene, yeah.
Breaking made a comeback, so from then on I would start writing letters though. You remember well, everybody used to write letters before email and texting though. So when I would see a graffiti magazine, it would say like, Jose from, Newark, New Jersey, and I'll be like, I'll write to him. I'll be like, "Yo, bro, I'm from LA." I'll be like, "What's the scene out there?" And he'd be like, "Yo, I was at the Breakbeats Jam." I was like, "Do you got that tape?" He'd be like, "Yeah." And then he'll be like, I'll be like, "Oh shit." I'll be like, "You
Damn.
know what? I got a Rockforce tape. You want to trade?" And then that's how I started my trading, though, bro. And I did that. I did that for about 25.
But you would
Right, right,
you would copy him though.
right.
When you get it, you would
But
copy him.
the thing about that too. And I used to catch heat for that because people would be like, "Oh, like, you're taking other people's tape," and I'm thinking like, That's how hip hop started. How do you think it all evolved? When people would get on the mics and they would do Busy V versus Kool Moe Dee, they made a tape of those. They made a copy of that tape. When you know what I'm saying? Everything
Yep.
was everything was cassette tapes, and then when it came to VHS tapes, I was doing the same format. That's how I was able to get all the tapes that I did, because I did it like that every day. The way that I'm doing live with you is every day I will write letters to people all over the world, though, bro. And I will put it in the mail, and about a week
Yeah, that's
later, I would get
crazy.
tapes. I was just start getting boxes of tapes, and that's how I got my tape collection up.
So you were
Right.
like a DJ in a sense, where you were like digging
Reaching
and like
out.
reaching out and like searching and
Exactly.
finding.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. But that's the passion
Yeah.
right there.
It's
That's
the
the
same.
passion
Yeah,
for it.
DJs do the
Yeah.
same thing when they go to record stores and they're getting records, and then they might trade somebody, like, "Yo, you got that incredible bongo band? Yeah, I got it on 45. I got it on 12 inch." So I'm manifesting that's what's already been done though, and it's continued to be done though, like right now, but people just call it like sharing. Like, I'm gonna share your page.
Yeah. Yeah. Nowadays
Hmm.
it's crazy. You can find things, people have uploaded stuff. If you
Right.
search the right words, you'll find it.
That's what I love about YouTube though, bro. Like,
You
you can
know?
type up anything. If you know the exact title, you can pretty much find the video. I've been watching so many videos, like that I've seen that I'm like, "Yo, I got that." Like, who put that up? And then you look at his playlist, and then he has everything though too, just like me. So I love technology today though, but I'm not gonna lie though. Like in '99, in 2000, we didn't really have this though, bro. The internet didn't really start getting cracking to like '99 and 2000. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And that was at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning stages then. So it wasn't,
Right.
what it is now. It was like real, real, how can I say, just
Right. It was
basic.
basic. It was dial up. It was
You know?
56
Yeah.
k
Yeah.
net zero, MSN, quick.
As far as the videos, 240p, probably
Exactly right.
360.
Remember that?
Yep. I remember I was watching one of the first videos I watched on the internet was that I really wanted to see. I was like, I want to see something from the West Coast. And I saw Ronnie Ruin doing like maybe two air flares to like a 90 or something like that. And it just blew my mind. I was like, whoa. I was like, man, did you see that? And then I wanted to
Right.
replay it like all
Just that
day.
one
Just that one
video,
video.
right?
Just the one video, just replaying it. And it's like
That's
a
what I
small clip.
remember
It's a
too.
small little clip.
The
and
first,
I forgot where they posted it on, but I was like, yo, check this out. And then I didn't even have my own computer. I went to the
that's
library
what I
to
would
to
do
check that out.
too, bro. I was
You
at the
know what I
library because the
mean?
internet connection was a little bit, it was a little bit faster, and there was multiple computers. And remember,
It
you
was
can be on
faster.
it. It would give you an hour on each computer, and then after you did that, you jump to the.
Yeah.
And my first video that I remember watching on the internet was it was KML versus Jigs in New York City.
Oof, I
Remember?
remember that. That was a dope series. They
Yeah,
battled
but
a
they
couple
took
times,
it
yeah.
from the gym and then they went out to the street and they were breaking like in the street where there was snow. That was the first time I ever
Yeah.
seen breaking a breaking
Yeah.
video on the internet.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
I've
you
seen
did?
videos before that, but I mean that yeah, yeah, I've seen like I can't remember off the top of my head, but
Oh
that's one of the
yeah.
classics for sure. KML's versus Jinx. I remember I was like, dang, I was like,
That's
that's how they battle for
crazy
real?
though, right? Oh
Like on some
yeah, it was super personal. KML was
personal thing,
like,
like
this shit is trash though, bro. Like, what you doing? Like, you tripping on your feet.
came to your yeah. Yeah, those days, those days I was doing it competitively. So I remember thinking like, damn, if came to my practice, I'd be
Right.
scared. I'd be like, damn, what
Yeah.
do I do? Like this guy's the
Before I
illest, you
let
know?
you go, is there anybody that you like today in today's scene?
And
Hmm.
today's scene, man, dude, I gotta be honest, man. I still watch old
Okay.
footage. Like you mentioned Float.
Yeah.
You mentioned Float earlier. I still watch
Okay.
videos of Float. You mentioned Ivan. I still watch videos of Ivan. Like, eh, I'm always gonna go back because I'm in love with
Yeah.
when I started breaking. The times that I started breaking, like I said, like 99, 2000, and I was watching videos and the people that brought me up and the different crews that inspired me. You mentioned Style Elements. I would watch videos of them. I would watch videos of Reminds. Um, and then you mentioned KML. I would
Yeah.
watch videos of Boogie Brats, Megas,
Yeah.
Jesse, like all the different B-boys in that crew. Like there's just so many great dancers that came way
I know.
before now, that a lot of B-boys probably not even watching them. They're probably ignoring it or not even
That's
knowing
what
that
it
it's
is.
there.
Not even knowing
Like,
that it's there because like like their time is now. So all they know is now. A lot of that stuff was 20
yeah,
years
yeah,
ago. So
exactly.
if you're 20 years old, if you're 20 years old, like you're not
Yeah,
gonna know what happened 20 years ago though, bro.
you got a lot of catching up
You
to do.
know? Right.
As far as, then Maurizio. I used to watch Maurizio and Ken Swift, like all of the videos when they were like tag teaming up and
Oh
traveling the
man.
world with
Oh
Honey
man.
Rockwell. Um, there's just so many. I remember like old videos of
Oh
Fever One and
yeah.
LEMS killing it back in the day. Bro, there's too much for me to just ignore that and just yeah, I watch the B-Boys today. I get hyped, I watch the Red Bull battles, and I'm excited for these young kids. Like, but nah, man, and I'm an old school head. I gotta continue watching like these B-Boys from back in the day. There's just too many. There's too many. And then I don't. And then there's so many B-Boys that have passed that have so much flavor and soul that I feel like a lot of the B-Boys today can't
No.
compare yet. Maybe they're not there yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but
energy was just there.
I gotta
The
watch the old school.
energy the energy is always going to be there, but the way that people was breaking though, it was so direct. It was like straight in your face. Like I want you. I don't care about the judges. I don't care
Yep.
about the crowd. It's me and you, bro. And that's the way. That was the b-boy era throughout the whole '90s.
And it was straight to the point too. You didn't have to
No,
do super long rounds to show that you can go a long time. Who cares? Just do your best shit. It's boring to watch the long
Yeah,
chance
because
anyway.
it started looking
Like
tired.
you're just waiting
Yeah,
for the
because I noticed the
exclamation
guys
point.
they scrape their feet or they crash, and then they kind of get up and they kind of do like the top block is like it's just kind of like they're just moving though. There's like really there's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not strategic. Back in the day when you would watch Ruin though, bro, when he would come out. You knew that fool was gonna catch your throat, though, bro. And he always usually did. That's why they called him Ruin because he ruined everything that you did.
Yep. And I love the names, too. Like people were getting creative with their names. Like, like you mentioned Ruin, B-Boy Crumbs. He said he used to break down his opponents down to crumbs.
Remind,
Like
yeah, remind
Ken
because he
Swift,
reminded you
Kid Extra
about. Yeah, you're right, Ken
Nasty,
Swift.
Kid Extra Nasty, Swift Wizard and Footwork
Ooh,
Technique. That's kind of how I got my name too, because I was like, damn, I want
oh,
something like Ken Swift,
okay.
like Kid Enzo, killing it daily, killing it daily Enzo, killing it
Oh,
daily on the
that's how
dance
you
floor.
got it. Okay,
Yeah, people think it's a kid. Like, nah, I'm not a kid. It's killing it daily, man. You gotta
that's
kill it
how I
daily when
feel,
you do this hip hop
bro.
thing.
You're right. You summed it up for that, though, man. Alfonso, man. Once again, I want to say thank you for this
Yeah,
this conversation. That's what it is for me. If you get a chance though, bro, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Mikey Eyes TV. All them videos that you're talking about, I'm putting them up. I put them up daily. So like how you said, if you wanna catch the vibe, like not only on my Instagram, there's a lot of stuff that I have on there that I don't put on my Instagram. But if like I said, if you really want to see what I did back in the day, like I'm putting like that a lot of those tape stuff, I'm putting them in HD quality though too.
that would be sick,
Okay.
man. I'm gonna look out for that
Thank you though,
for
man.
sure. Appreciate you, man. Thank
Okay.
you for having me on.
All right, brother.
Thank to
Peace.
everyone. Yeah.
All right.
Peace out, man. Have a